Okay, so I am 37 weeks and 4 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yep, 37 weeks and 4 days. And this is the bump. This is the bump. There is baby in here. My beautiful, beautiful bump. That's the front. Ooh. Close-up shot. The bump. The baby actually dropped at 35 weeks and 6 days, and every day baby's getting bigger, and I think I'm dropping more and more. But I love my bump. Truly a blessing to be able to carry a child in my womb. It's a beautiful bump. Ooh. I wanted to sit down now that I'm past 37 weeks and just do a second and third trimester update and just how the second and third trimester have gone for me. So I moved into my second trimester mid-June, around mid-June, around my husband's birthday, and I had a really solid second trimester. It was not hard by any means, but neither was my first trimester. First trimester wasn't really hard to begin with, but my second trimester was good. My appetite, I felt like, returned, and my belly was growing. What they say about the second trimester, about it being like the bliss stage of pregnancy, is so accurate. I just was feeling more like myself, being able to eat and have my appetite again, and a lot happened in the second trimester because I moved cross country in the second trimester, and right towards the about 24-week mark I moved. I had my 20-week anatomy scan. That went really well, but there was like a minor issue that had come up which freaked me out, so we had to go do another hour-and-a-half scan. They ended up doing like 3D scans to rule out that this was an issue, which it wasn't an issue. And that is the only scan, ultrasound, I've had my entire pregnancy. That's just what I chose and opted to do, and I'm glad that that's how I went about it. Hi, are you here? Yeah, it's my cat. Yeah, always making appearances in my videos. And I just remember feeling really good in my second trimester, and I started to read into hypnobirthing. I started to read a lot of my books, and I think I'm going to do a video on like the resources that I used during my pregnancy, and which are resources in terms of books, education, but also in terms of nutrition. Because when I was like Google searching all of this, I wish there was a video that kind of brought it all together in terms of nutrition resources that could be beneficial that someone else used. Because there's so many do's and don'ts during pregnancy, and it's nice to hear from other people of what they're doing. Because one thing that's never made sense to me is they tell you your entire pregnancy to be super careful of what you put in your body, but then they'll put an epidural in you, and you have no idea how that epidural is going to affect you and affect baby. And if you read Husband Coach Childbirth, or if you read Childbirth Without Fear, any of those books, you'll see there's extensive research as to what the epidural does and how it actually does affect baby and can actually increase your chances of interventions and things actually going wrong. That's a video on its own, not something that I want to get into. If you want to do your own research, I invite you to go do that. So I started to just gather my resources in terms of like education and research, and really get like looking into hypnobirthing. That's the method I'm using. Mindfulness, hypnobirthing, and just having been years and years of like meditating and being mindful, I think is how I've kind of been present with everything that's happening, and that's what I want to use during the birthing labor process, which is gonna happen here in like a few weeks. That's crazy. So nothing like stands out like too much in the second trimester. I think my thing that I continued to eating the second trimester was a bunch of fruits and vegetables and lots of smoothies. I think I've had a smoothie almost every day, or if not every other day, this entire pregnancy. That's how much this baby loves fruits and veggies. Yeah, so towards the end of my second trimester, I got on a plane with my cat, packed my entire life into a box and moved across country, and that's where I entered my third trimester, which honestly I was so excited to make it this far because it's just like hitting these milestones. And the third trimester, which I'm in currently nearing the end of, preparing for birth, has also gone so well, so smoothly. I don't have any like complaints or anything that I would say has been like a challenge or difficult in this pregnancy. I feel like this pregnancy, thank God, and I'm so grateful, has been so smooth and so straightforward and so like simple and easy for me. So I'm super grateful. I kept up with a lot of walking. I did prenatal yoga. I followed a YouTube channel called Pregnancy and Postpartum TV. I'll link that channel down below. There's lots of stretching. Started doing spinning babies poses, especially like the butterfly pose, cat-cow pose, the inversions, just like stretching my body like this and making room for baby. And I experienced, like, I would say the most growth in the last 5 to 6 weeks. That's when I noticed my belly growing the most. And it's been so fun to watch my belly grow and just to witness the baby growing. And for me, I actually had to transition care provider, so I had a different midwife when I was living out in Seattle and where I live currently. So I had to go through that process of finding a new midwife, which worked out effortlessly. I love the midwife I have currently and the one who's going to actually help me bring my baby into this world. So the third trimester was a lot more logistical things, like finding a place to live, meeting with a new midwife, and baby shower, and moving into a new place, and like getting this new place ready because we just moved it into it in mid-October. So just not having a lot of time to prepare for baby's arrival. But right now I think we're in a good spot, and if baby comes, we're ready. We're ready for baby. Third trimester, one thing that I am experiencing since like week 32, week 33 is my digestion has slowed down. My digestion this entire pregnancy has been awesome and amazing, but around week 32, 33, it's like got sluggish because I think my uterus is growing and it's pushing up against my stomach. I feel like my stomach is smushed, and it's interesting. I'm hungry, but I don't have room for it in my tummy anymore. Like I want to eat the thing, but I can't eat the thing because there's no room. So like I'm literally eating like this much food at a time, often throughout the day, and I'm getting full faster. I'm feeling like the weight of the baby on my pelvic floor. I did start chiropractor and acupuncture in my 3rd trimester. I've been religiously taking the Nora tea, which is red raspberry leaf, nettle, oat straw, and something else, which I'll put this in my other video, the resources and nutrition video. But I actually started taking that around week 16. That's what was suggested to me by my midwife, and that's what I started doing. And I did that. I've been doing that throughout the entire pregnancy. So I haven't been experiencing like a lot of heartburn or acid reflux or anything, but I do notice that if I eat spicy food, which I love, then I will get a little bit of heartburn, but nothing too crazy. Anything else? Sleep has been okay. I think these past couple days, like especially this past week, sleep has not been good. I've not been sleeping well. I've not been feeling rested when I wake up. And I think it's just the sheer size of baby now, and that baby's growing like at rapid speed. It said in my app that baby's like 6.5 pounds now, and I'm feeling just restless and not being able to find a proper position to lay in. But I do have a pregnancy pillow that I like. I'll put that in my resources video as well. And any kind of food things this like 3rd trimester, I don't think so. Like, oh yeah, I think one of the things oh yeah, of course, oranges. I'm apparently obsessed with oranges right now, like the little baby oranges that you could peel, and ice. Like I want to chew on ice. So anything cold. The other thing that I feel like has been really hard or challenging is my skin is so dry, and I don't know if it's because that's a pregnancy thing or it's because it's winter, but that two combination has not been working well, because my skin has been so dry, so itchy, and the way I've been remedying it is by taking Epsom salt baths and then like, excuse me, bless me. The way I've been remedying it is taking Epsom salt baths and letting my skin soak the magnesium, but then taking like a washcloth and scrubbing the dead skin off. That's something that I've been doing to just kind of help moisturize my skin and like keep it exfoliating. So that's something that's been really hard. I have to spend like about literally 15 minutes after every shower that I take generously lathering up my skin, because it's so dry, and because it's so dry you get that like feeling of like your skin's like stretching and tearing, and it gets really itchy. That's been one challenge that I've been facing towards the end of pregnancy. The other thing I did was in the 3rd trimester is I hired a doula. I was on the fence about hiring a doula. I was like, I don't need one, whatever, I read enough books, it's fine, I don't need one. But then like the more I kind of gave it thought, I was like, I kind of would love to have that support system, someone who's exclusively there for me. Like the midwife, yeah, she's there and she's gonna help me bring the baby into the world, but she's not there exclusively just for me, and like eyes completely on me and my emotional state and what I'm going through, and helping me cope and go through, like, because I'm having an unmedicated birth. That's my intention. So I hired a doula, and I'm so glad I did. It's been really wonderful to have her as a resource, and she made me this really nice body butter with essential oils that I've been putting on. Yeah, I really need to make that resources video of all the stuff that I've used in this pregnancy. I think I'm going to make that video next. So that way, like, it's compiled in one space, so for a future pregnancy or for anyone else who's watching, you can get some ideas around what products they can use while they're pregnant, because one of the biggest, like, question marks is like, oh, can I have that? Can I drink that while I'm pregnant? And I'm doing it while I'm pregnant. Of course, it works for my body, but check with your own intuition and your own care providers to see if it works for you. And I think that's it as far as 2nd and 3rd trimester goes. I'm just really excited to bring baby into this world. I'm excited to give birth. I'm nervous, but I'm mostly excited. And I'm just like so grateful that the pregnancy has gone so well. And everything's been so like beautiful. And one of the things I thought of today is that my body knows how to grow and nourish this baby. Therefore, my body knows how to birth this baby. And I like have developed a deeper trust with my body, and of course a deep trust with baby. And I notice myself constantly communicating to baby and just sending baby like good energy and like just communicating like internally, not so vocally. The other thing that I did do is I created a playlist for baby. If you're interested in seeing what songs I've chosen, then I'll put my Spotify playlist down below. I've also created a labor playlist for songs that I want to use during labor. If you're interested in seeing that, I'll put that Spotify link down below as well. And I'm going to go into more detail about the actual journey of pregnancy while having moved cross country twice, and just a more personal insight into the journey of pregnancy in this past year on my subscriber supported Substack called The Journal of KP. If you want to join me over there and follow along in more of the intimate insight details of my life and my journey, and that's where I share my wisdom, my insights, my downloads, anything that's on my mind. It's a more intimate look into my life. I'll leave the link to that down below as well if you want to come and hang out with me there. I think that's everything. If you have any questions that came up for you as you were watching this, of course, ask me in the comments below. And if you're currently pregnant or looking to get pregnant or trying to get pregnant, I'm sending you a lot of love, and that you have a beautiful rest of your pregnancy, that everything works out for you, and that you get what you want. You deserve to have the birth that you want. Oh, and the other thing that I want to share is I did record a podcast with a doula on all things birth, conscious pregnancy, the feminine mysteries, and just like being in the birth vortex and the pregnancy journey. I'll leave the link to that podcast episode down below, but you can also just go to my podcast called Unlearn Yourself on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast and find that episode. But I'll also leave a link to it down below as well. So yeah, wherever you're in the world, I'm sending you so much love, and stay open.